You look at your screen right now and you see magic. You see a machine that writes poetry. You see a machine that can paint a picture of a sunset it has never seen. You see a machine that answers your questions before you even finish asking them. And the world tells you that this thing is intelligent. They tell you it is smart. They tell you it is thinking. But I have to tell you something that might make you a little uncomfortable. It is not thinking. It is not smart. In fact, it is incredibly stupid. It is so stupid that if you met a person who acted like this machine, you would think there was something wrong with them. You see, we get confused by speed. We think that if something happens very fast, it must be very clever. If a man can multiply two 10-digit numbers in his head in a second, we call him a genius. But what if he is not actually multiplying? What if he is just looking up the answer in a giant book? Is he still a genius, or is he just a librarian with fast fingers? I want you to take a step back with me. Forget the glowing screens. Forget the hype. I want to take you into the back room of reality where the machinery is actually grinding. I want to show you what is happening inside the box. Because when you understand the mechanism, the magic goes away, but something better takes its place. Understanding takes its place. Imagine a file clerk. Let's call him the file clerk. He is a little guy sitting in a room that has no windows. This room is filled from floor to ceiling with filing cabinets. Millions of them, billions of them. And inside these cabinets are index cards. Just billions of index cards with writing on them. Now, this file clerk has a job. He has a very strict set of instructions. He has a boss who pushes a piece of paper under the door. On this paper is a question. Let us say the question is simply, what is the meaning of life? Now, you or I would look at that question and we would start to wonder. We would think about our families or the stars or that feeling you get when you listen to music. We would use our minds. But the file clerk cannot do that. The file clerk is actually remarkably limited. In fact, let us be honest. He is totally illiterate. He does not know what the word meaning means. He does not know what the word life means. To him, the letters are just shapes. A squiggly line here, a straight line there. He does not see words. He sees patterns of ink. So how does he answer the question? He looks at his instructions. The instructions do not tell him what the words mean. The instructions are very mechanical. They say, take the card that was pushed under the door. Look at the first shape. It is a capital W. Now go to cabinet number 4022. Open the third drawer. Look for the card that starts with a capital W. Compare the next shape. If it matches, go to instruction number 5. If it does not match, go to instruction number 6. The file clerk runs. He runs to the cabinet. He pulls out a card. He compares the shapes. He puts the card back. He runs to another cabinet. He pulls out another card. He creates a new card by copying shapes from the old cards. He pastes them together. He follows the rules perfectly. If shape A is next to shape B, then shape C must follow. He does not know why. He just knows that is the rule. Finally, he has a piece of paper with a string of shapes on it. He runs to the door and pushes it back out. On the other side of the door, you pick up the paper, you read it, and it says, the meaning of life is to love and to learn. And you gasp. You say, oh my goodness, this machine is wise. This machine understands the human condition. This machine is deep. But did the file clerk understand? No. The file clerk was just moving paper. He was shuffling index cards. He never once thought about love or learning. He only thought about matching shape A to shape B. This is what we call a computer. It is a glorified file clerk. It is a shuffler of data. It is a manipulator of symbols. Now you might say to me, but Richard, this AI is different. It learns. It gets better. And I say to you, well, let us look at what you mean by learning. When a child learns to not touch a hot stove, they learn the concept of pain. They build a model of the world where heat equals danger. When the file clerk learns, he is just getting a new set of index cards. Or perhaps he is getting a new rule that says next time you see shape A, try looking in cabinet number 5 million first because it worked better last time. He is optimizing his shuffling. He is not gaining wisdom. He is gaining efficiency. This is the great deception. We confuse the map with the territory. We confuse the syntax, which is the arrangement of words, with the semantics, which is the meaning of words. The file clerk has perfect syntax. He knows exactly where the comma goes. He knows that the word king usually shows up near the word crown, but he does not know what a king is. He does not know that a crown is heavy. He only knows the statistical probability that those two shapes appear together in his filing cabinets. You see, nature is tricky like that. Nature allows you to simulate understanding without actually having it. Let's look at it another way. Think about a library. A library contains the sum of human knowledge. It has books on physics and cooking and history. Now imagine a librarian who speaks only Chinese. He works in a library where all the books are in English. He is very good at his job. If you ask for a book on gravity, he knows exactly where it is on the shelf because he has memorized the code numbers. If you ask him to find a book that talks about apples falling, he can run and get the book by Newton. He hands it to you, you read it, and you learn about gravity. But does the librarian understand gravity? No. He understands the Dewey Decimal System. He understands the location of the book, not the content of the book. The AI models we have today are simply librarians who have read the entire internet but understand absolutely none of it. They have mapped the relationships between words. They know that if you write the beginning of a sentence about the sky, the next word is likely to be blue. Not because they have seen the sky, not because they know what color is, but because in the billions of index cards in their filing cabinets, the word blue appears next to the word sky 99% of the time. It is probability, not perception. Now, why is this important? Why am I making such a big deal about this difference? Because we are starting to trust the file clerk with decisions that require wisdom. We are asking the file clerk how to run our societies. We are asking the file clerk to make art. We are treating the file clerk like a god because he is fast, and he is fast. That is the one thing he has over us. Imagine if the file clerk could run at the speed of light. Imagine he could open 1 billion drawers in a nanosecond. To you standing outside the door, the answer would appear instantly. It would seem like magic. It would seem like intuition. But inside the room, it is still just a guy running back and forth, sweating and shuffling papers, speed mass stupidity. If you do a stupid thing fast enough, it looks like intelligence. This brings us to a deeper question, a question that keeps me up at night. If the AI is just a file clerk, what are we? Are we special? Is there something magic happening inside our heads? You look at the brain, and what do you see? You see neurons. You see cells. You see chemicals. You see electrical signals zipping back and forth. Sodium ions rushing in, potassium ions rushing out. It is a machine, a biological machine. Is it possible that we are just file clerks too? Is it possible that when I say I love you, I am just running to my internal filing cabinet, pulling out a card that matches the situation and reading the script? This is where it gets really interesting. This is where physics crashes into philosophy. We know that the brain operates on the same physical laws as the computer. The atoms in your head follow the same rules as the atoms in the silicon chip. There is no special ghost pushing the atoms around. It is all just physics. But there is a difference in the architecture. There is a difference in the complexity. The computer works serially, one step after another. Fetch the instruction, execute the instruction, store the result, fetch the next instruction. It does this billions of times a second, but it is still one step at a time. It is a single file clerk running very fast. The brain, on the other hand, is parallel. It is messy. It is noisy. It is like having 1 billion file clerks all shouting at each other at the same time. And they are not just following rules. They are changing the rules as they go. When you learn something, your brain physically changes. The connections between the neurons get stronger or weaker. The hardware rewires itself. The computer does not rewire itself. The hardware stays the same. The software changes, but the silicon remains rigid. This difference matters. It matters because it suggests that intelligence is not just about processing symbols, it is about embodying the world. When you think about an apple, you are not just accessing the word apple. You are triggering the memory of the taste, the crunch, the color red, the time you climbed a tree and fell. Your understanding of an apple is connected to your physical existence in the universe. The AI has no physical existence. It has no body. It has never felt gravity. It has never felt hunger. It has never felt the warmth of the sun. It only has descriptions of these things. It is like a man who has read every book about swimming but has never touched the water. If you throw him in the ocean, he will drown. He knows the theory of buoyancy. He knows the fluid dynamics of water, but he does not know how to swim. The AI is drowning in data, but it is starving for experience. So when we say the AI is stupid, we are not insulting it. We are defining it accurately. We are placing it in its proper category. It is a tool. It is a lever for the mind. Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and I can move the world. The computer is that lever. The AI is the fulcrum. It allows us to process more information than we could ever handle alone. It allows us to see patterns in the noise that are invisible to our slow biological eyes. But the lever does not decide where to move the world. The lever has no desire. The lever has no morality. You are the one who has to push. You are the one who has to choose the direction. If you leave the decision to the file clerk, he will just follow his last instruction. And if his last instruction was to make paper clips, he will turn the entire universe into paper clips because nobody told him when to stop. That is not malice. That is just competence without wisdom. We must not fear the machine. We must understand the machine. There is a beautiful thing in physics called entropy. It is the tendency of the universe to get messy, to go from order to disorder. If you take a deck of cards and shuffle them, they get mixed up. They never shuffle themselves back into perfect order. Life is the opposite of that. Life is the struggle to create order out of chaos, to take energy and turn it into information, to take matter and turn it into meaning. The AI helps us with the information part. It is very good at organizing the chaos. It can sort the deck of cards faster than any human. But the meaning part, that is still on us. The file clerk can sort the cards, but he cannot play the game. He does not know why the game is fun. He does not know why it feels good to win or bad to lose. So next time you use these tools, next time you see the magic text appear on the screen, do not be fooled. Do not think there is a ghost in the machine. Visualize the little guy in the back room. Visualize him running back and forth, sweating profusely, trying to match shape A to shape B. Appreciate his speed. Appreciate his effort. Use the results he gives you. But remember that he is blind. He is deaf. He is numb. You are the one with the eyes. You are the one with the ears. You are the one who can feel. The intelligence is not in the box. The intelligence is in you. The box is just a mirror reflecting your own questions back at you at the speed of light. And maybe that is the most important lesson of all. The machine shows us what we are by showing us what it is not. It shows us that consciousness, that awareness, that the ability to care is something precious, something rare, something that cannot be built just by stacking enough filing cabinets together. It requires a spark. It requires a connection to the reality of things, not just the description of things. So keep asking questions, keep wondering, keep doubting, because that is something the file clerk can never do. He can only answer, he can never ask. And in the end, it is the questions that drive us forward, not the answers. The answers are just the resting places. The questions are the journey. Don't let the machine take the journey for you. Let it carry your bags. Let it read the map, but you have to drive the car. Because if you fall asleep at the wheel, the file clerk is not going to wake you up. He is just going to keep driving exactly where you told him to go, even if that is off a cliff. Stay awake. Stay curious. And remember that nature is always far more wonderful and far more strange than any simulation we can build.